Good morning, YouTube. It is a little bit chilly today, but not crazy. I think it's about 40 degrees out. We got a wind advisory. We're supposed to get some rain today. But I'm doing something for the truck that has nothing to do with me getting wet or cold.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
As you guys know, one of the reasons that we like to stick with travel trailers is because we get to keep the increased storage that the bed of the truck offers. And in this case, an 8-foot bed. But as you also know, it's not protected back here. So we're going to go ahead and get a cap installed on this, and I'm going to go over all the features of the cap. I think you're going to like some of the features that I got. So where I'm heading to is the cap stop. It's over in North Canton, and we've got some work done there before. I've bought some accessories for my old cap there. They do more than just caps. They do a lot of truck accessories. They do bed rugs, they do vent visors, they do toolboxes, they do bed sliders. And then they have all the accessories needed. If you have a cap that, like, you need a new locking handle or a third brake light, and that's what I'd bought in the past. I bought a third brake light for my truck there, and some other hardware. And I've had work done on the cap. They actually resealed it for me. It's a service that they offer, that they'll put, you know, all new seals underneath of the cap itself where it attaches to the bed. The cap being on the back, it's just a preference thing for me, but the nice thing is that I can lock everything up back there. It'll be relatively safe. It stays relatively dry. Don't get me wrong, every cap over a period of time at some point will leak somehow. It's not part of the vehicle. So if you guys are thinking, oh, I'm going to buy a truck and get a cap, and it's going to be just as secure as a van, no. A van or a SUV, a big SUV, is going to be more secure. But the cap does offer a lot of security. And once we put a bed rug back there, it's going to make it even nicer too. This Christmas, we've already run into the situation where we needed the truck cap. We did have a couple people in the back of our truck with gifts and food and all that happy stuff. And unfortunately, I barely had enough room for all the food and gifts in the truck, in the cab of this truck. Even with a crew cab, all you guys saying, oh, you should have got a crew cab. We hardly ever have passengers. No, I don't want a truck that was 2 foot longer than my old truck. But yeah, if we had a cap, it wouldn't have been an issue, because that's what we do every year. We usually I have a divider that I used to put up in the bed of the truck, of the old truck, and just put all of our food and our gifts and everything in the back. That way the passengers had plenty of room, but oh well. So we're going to try to cure that today. And yeah, I had to order my bed rug. I got behind the 8 ball. I didn't expect it to come in so soon. I was thinking about the second week of January, and here it already is here. And today's, again, New Year's Day. Well, guys, here we are at the cap stop. It's also a used U-Haul store. You can see they got some used caps out here. But my cap basically looks like this one, but it's black, and it's a long bed. So we're going to have them take it into their shop there. That must be where the cap is, because I have an appointment in about 10 minutes, and they do really good work here. Like I said, I've dealt with them in the past, and so far so good. So hopefully this paint code's a brand new paint code. Even though it's black, you would think there's only one black, but this one is an agate black, and they have a brand new paint code for it, and they'd even have it on their books. So that's why the special order. And that's why we thought it'd take longer. Well, guys, it's now Friday. I was shooting that video on Monday, and unfortunately it rained pretty hard. When I got back, I tried to shoot video showing you what everything looked like, but unfortunately it was just too much rain. It was getting all over the camera, and I really couldn't do what I wanted to do. However, for whatever reason, we're in a really freakish warm pattern. Not crazy freakish warm, but it's going to be in the mid-40s for the next like 4 days. And right now it's about 42 degrees, and it's going to be 46. So let's show you what this thing looks like. I love it. I mean, it is sweet. I really like the way it looks. and this really makes this truck look like my truck. Now, I don't think I mentioned to you guys, I did add vent visors on here. We had vent visors on the last couple of trucks, and we really get used to that. I think I posted that maybe on Facebook, but the reason that we went with the LEER brand, the ARE and the LEER, they kind of compete with each other. This is the top of the line LEER. This is the highest one that they had, And mainly I think that they call it their top of the line because of this one-piece window. But as far as the features on this thing, it's really nice. Now, getting to the comparison with the ARE cap, I don't think you see these buttons. I think it's bonded. But the ARE is also more expensive. Every price that I got from all my local dealers was about $800 more base price. So I didn't want to deal with that. I really didn't. Because that $800 savings got me a real nice option. I'll show you that here in a second. Now, the first thing you got to get used to, which we had to get used to, is this shelf. Maybe we should put cup holders up here to hold your beer in case you're driving down the road and you need to stop and I'm hooking up the trailer or something. I don't know. I can see myself putting stuff up on here and it falling off. But yeah, they do this on both ARE and LEER. I guess ARE is starting to curve their glass to make it come out more, but I'm not waiting for that. That was a new cap that was still being developed for the F250. The F150s, I think they had something already out like that. I also want to point out something else that I wasn't used to, and that's this big gap that's up here. And I thought, man, I don't know if I really like that. Yeah, I do, because when it was raining and I was trying to show this cap on the video that you guys didn't see, whenever I lifted it up, all the water ran right into a channel that's up here and it ran off. Well, I've never had that happen before. All my, my old cap and the cap that I had prior, when you open it up, usually the water just runs inside the bed. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. Now, that's going to get to one of the first options here. We have a power lock. Now, it has a key. Don't get me wrong. It has a key right there. Nice, huh? But yeah, just like you would if you want to get into your driver's door, just one push of the unlock button will unlock the driver's door, but no other doors, including the hatch, or the tailgate, I should say. Then you push twice, and that opens everything. So not only does it unlock the tailgate, but it unlocks the cap, and you just flip this lever, and that's it. It's up. Now, the first thing you probably see is this thing. It says LEER locker, and it's got some sort of sealant on it, some kind of tape. I'll take that off sometime. I also got a big box in here. We're going to be working on that. I'll show you what that looks like. They have a carpeted cover all along here. This is like a some sort of a marine carpet, or maybe a speaker box cover. You can call it that. It is water resistant. It does give a nice finish, and it kind of deadens the sound in here, which is really nice. Now, I do have a couple of lights. However, they're activated right now as it stands by the button that's up there, and I'm going to change that to where I have a switch over here, because I have a light on the front also that will illuminate, but I got to climb up there to do that. But I'm not going to do any wiring changes until I get this BedRug in, because I'm not crawling around on that hard bed. That's why I've got a BedRug. All right, let's talk about some more features here. Oh, well, you can see this. I wanted to show you this. So this is all fiberglass, this tailpiece, and there's a seal here, just like you would think for a normal tailgate. And the windows are screened the entire length. Now, we did not get a slider for the front window because we don't have a slider on the truck. And my last truck had a sliding window. My truck prior to that had a sliding window. And I only used it like 4 times. Other than that, we never opened our slider to get into the bed of the truck or have breeze or anything like that. So whenever it was time to buy this truck, we thought, do we really need a sliding rear window? We never opened it on the old one. So the decision was made not to. And of course, getting a cap for it, it'd be stupid to have a slider cap. So what we did get, though, is, of course, the window's non-tinted, and there's a couple of fasteners up top, and you pop those fasteners, and that window folds down, so you can clean in between. You can clean the window for the cap, and you can clean the back window for the truck. And again, we did not tint the window on the back of the truck, so you could see back here and see if there's anything moving around. And it's just, I feel better being able to see in the bed of the truck. No real reason, to tell you the truth. It's just something I've gotten accustomed to. All right, so going with features that we really never used, we could have optioned, instead of having that nice big one-piece window on the side, which I really like the way it looks, you could have gotten one that had a break in it, and you could have had a sliding window that would open up or a little wing window that would pop open. Well, all the times that we've had our other truck, our old truck, we didn't really feel comfortable leaving the windows open. We slid them open a couple of times for ventilation. However, if it rained or anything like that, we were concerned about things getting wet. Plus, when you walked by the truck, if it was open, you could really see inside and see what was in the back of it. So for security reasons, we never really wanted that slider open, and we never really used the slider. However, this window, if you crank this open, which is really cool the way they've got this set up, just like a jealousy style crank, this whole thing ventilates all the way down. I don't know if you guys are going to be seeing on camera, but yeah, not only that, but the top stays pretty much up against the seal that's inside here. So if it's raining and you're driving down the road, you can kind of see everything is contoured to where, you know, this is going to keep the water from running in, and same from up here. It's not really going to get in. So if we wanted to and we needed ventilation, I feel pretty comfortable doing this because you can't really see inside, yet everything's being vented, and if it starts raining, everything's going to pretty much stay dry back there. Now, I've said this 1,000 times, if somebody really wants in, they're going to get in. You know, just grab this, pull it, and it's broke. I mean, that's pretty typical of anything like this, but we really like that feature. We thought that was a really nice feature for a cap versus the sliding window. Like I said, the sliding window, we just never used it, and I don't even know how much we'll use that. Now, I do know one option we will use a lot, and that's this baby here. Now, the money I saved on the base price going from an ARE to a LEER cap bought me this option. This is an expensive option, and I talked about it quite a bit with Heidi before we decided. Now, with the tailgate down or the tailgate up, it doesn't make a difference. I have a couple of keys that I can lock this. However, you just push the buttons, and I'll do this with one hand, but normally you do it with two. And then this just comes back, and that's it. Look at all of that. Isn't that not cool or what? Now this has, you know, locking slides so it won't come out. And again, the tailgate can be down, and this just folds down even further. But you can put up to 100 pounds of stuff in here. These are the dividers that you can place in here. I've got other ideas about dividers. That's why I don't have them secured. There's some nuts and bolts in here, or some screws I should say, that will hold these in place. Of course, there's holes in the side so they can be placed in different positions, and you could buy more if you wanted, but I don't think I need to do any of that. So what I'm going to do then is utilize this for definitely my fishing rods. I know that because I never get to carry them. I don't know how I'm going to go fishing, but we'll figure that out. And of course, all my straps, my ratchet straps, my tie downs, my bungee cords, my tow stuff, as far as like my ball lock, the hitch pin lock, anything. I mean, I've got a bunch of odds and ends that I've always carried around a bag, you know, like a trunk organizer in the bed of my truck. This will allow me to do that without having that bag in my way. And of course, you know, this isn't like I'm giving you any kind of unbelievable thing to look at here, but you just put it back. That's it, and it's secure. It's done. It's locked in there. So big plus. I mean, it takes up a lot of space as far as the headroom in here, but I mean, I still have plenty of room to get in. I don't see myself necessarily putting in any kind of a bicycle necessarily, unless I put it up front or lay it down on its side. Now my mopeds, I used to stand up in the front of the truck bed across this way. I probably wouldn't be able to do that anymore. I might be able to. I can't really tell, but I don't have those things. And as far as our bicycles, I mean, it just takes a little bit of a lean, and it would probably clear it. So I'm not, again, not real concerned about it. So really nice option. I'm glad I got it. So now, what am I going to do next? What's the next option? Well, the BedRug. So let me go ahead and break this thing out and see what it's going to take to put it in here. I want to point out this BedRug to you real quick. I blew out the floor, and the BedRug was rolled up, and obviously it was in that box, but they have definitely changed the way they made this. Used to be that the closed cell foam that they used was more of a rubber material and much more pliable. Now, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily like this as much, but I can't see any reason why this would operate or perform any different than what I used to have. And I'll show you that. You can see already the texture, how closed it all is. This is a rubber. I mean, it's really a real soft rubber, this whole backing. And I've gotten used to it. And it's lasted a really long time. So they've changed it. They definitely changed the way that they make their the rib portion for the bed. And again, I don't know if I'm going to like it better or worse, but that's the way it is. But anyway, since this thing is rolled up the way that it is, and it has been for a while, I can't get it to change shape here. Not on a day. Again, it's going to be in the upper 40s or mid 40s. It might even be that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up my old torpedo heater here. And every year I say, yeah, I can't wait till I sell that, because then I know I'll never have to be in a cold garage again, hopefully. But here I am firing it up again. So I'm going to fire that up. I'm going to get it really warm in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and flatten this out as much as possible. And as it's getting warm in here, I'll be working in the bed of the truck to apply all this Velcro. There's tons and tons of Velcro that they give you. Basically the hook portion. And what this does is it sticks on the back, and it's marked on the sides where it goes. You can see every so many feet there is a little mark there. I don't know if you can, how well you can tell that, but yeah, you basically put a piece in each one of those positions. You make sure you put one, on here, anywhere you see it down here. Again, there, you just kind of underneath the mark that's already there. Now, there is some additional pieces that didn't normally come with this, from what I can remember, and I'm going to have to see the lengths. I see if one's longer than the other, and see exactly where they go. Of course, they give you instructions, and they do show you the locations for all of them. It's just a matter of I have to go through and look at all that. Now, once the bottom is in, then the side goes in, and it zips in. It just zips together. You can see there's a big, heavy zipper here, and it just zips up and connects the side to the bottom, and that's it. And as I've said before, this old bed rug for the old truck, that's been in 3 different beds, and I've been utilizing it since, well, for about the last 11 years. Yeah, I guess it's been 11 years that I've been using that really heavily, and it's never failed to do the job that I've asked it to do. So hopefully this one will fill the same void. As far as the marine grade carpet on top, it feels the same. I don't see any difference there. But the other thing that they've added, which is kind of nice, is an apron that covers the gap in the tailgate. So the tailgate piece and the bed floor piece gets rid of the gap. Again, I'm just kind of dragging you around. It gets rid of this gap here, right here. And I kind of like that, because the old one used to be that it wrapped down, and I used to have to adhere it with 3M adhesive spray so that it stayed there. But I kind of like that the gap's going to be filled. It's going to be different, but okay, let's get to work. Well, I'm definitely dragging butt on this, just taking my time, making sure I don't screw anything up. And I do have the tailgate portion secured, which is awful sweet. And it makes it easier for me to be able to work in there now on the rest of the stuff. The floor feels like the old one, but you can still see there's a bow here. This will work its way out. It just has to go through some heat cycles and some time being flat, and it'll be okay. Same with up there, up in the front. So what I got to do now is I got to remove the hooks. Well, you could do it 2 different ways. You can leave your tie downs in. I don't know if you can see them here. You can leave the tie downs in. There's a couple back here, and there's a couple up front. And then at that point, you can cut a hole in the bed rug to allow the tie down to poke through. And that may not be a bad idea. I might do that on the front. I haven't decided yet. Or you can remove the tie downs with the I'm sure it's like a T20 or something that holds it in there. And once you remove them, you can then put the bed rug in, secure it, do everything you're supposed to with it, and then at that point just screw directly through the bed rug to put the tie downs back where they belong. Obviously, you don't really necessarily want something in between your tie down bracket and the bed of the truck. You know, where it's secured right now is good. However, you also don't want it to where the tie downs are hard to get to and hard to hook into. And that could be the case. If I don't cut it just right, it might be an issue. But I do have a good utility knife, so I might do that. I haven't quite decided yet. But the next step in this whole mess is to deal with that and make that decision. And of course, start putting in all these little Velcro things. You can see they're all over the place. All right, it's all finished. And it's starting to really look like my truck. I love these things. They do a great job. And even though they've changed and fitment is what I remember, not quite as good, but it's still very, very nice. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that makes a better product here. You can see the hooks in the front. They already had cutouts there, so I went ahead and did cutouts for the back, and they don't interfere at all. So that's really nice. I think overall, though, I'm pretty much finished with anything back here, except, you know, eventually I got to put that water tank back here. I got to get the water pump back in here, and we'll have to do some kind of a fill hose over here. These ledges are much bigger than the old truck, so I might be able to do something, and I'm definitely not cutting into my cap. It's just not going to be the case. So I appreciate you guys watching and hanging on. Hopefully we'll have some RV shopping coming up, but I wanted to keep you up to date with this. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to get some video posted, and as always, we hope to see you out there. Bye.